Hello and welcome to your bus home on the Boys in the Bus podcast. This is Celtic 1, Dundee 0. I'm your host Terry. I'm joined by my co-host Liam. Liam, the moment has come. Martin O'Neill's tenure has come to an end. Celtic do what they've been doing all season and release big news at very odd times. We'll get through all of that. We'll not do a full deep dive tonight because I'm knackered and want to get to my bed. But we'll cut through most of what happened tonight. As always, anyone who is joining the show, if you want to give us a like, give us a share, help us try and grow. We recently hit the 1,000 mark in terms of subscribers. We're on the road to 2,000. You can also become a Boys on the Bus member. That helps keep diesel in the tank. Liam, you're just back from the pub. In terms of the matches, probably one of the quieter ones since Martin O'Neill arrived at the club. Other results went their way, which made it all the more important that we got the job done. And do you know what? There were moments towards the end there where I could see Dundee scoring, and they did have a chance in injury time when the lad had a header. It just felt, it could be one of those nights where it's all built up to be Martin's last dance. Hearts drop points, Rangers drop points, even though they got a miraculous 98th minute penalty awarded by David Dickinson. But I'm sure that was all above board. It usually is with David. Let's cut through all of that. The match, as I say, it was a bit drab. I mean, I think because there was only one goal difference, it probably feels like we weren't that Ferrari that we have been at sometimes over the last 4 or 5 weeks. I still think we were okay. I mean, we created lots of chances. All you need is another one of those to go in, and Dundee heads go down, and before you know it then becomes 3, 4, 5, and it turns into that kind of performance. But they kept us at 1. They kept us frustrated. We couldn't take our chances, and it ends up a little bit nervy towards the end, but we get the job done. We're not top of the league yet. I think we're 3 goals off being top of the league. We've got a game in hand, and all of a sudden, you're moving from a situation where we were as far as 8 points behind Hearts, in danger of getting caught by Rangers, nose diving out of the Europa League. And if we beat Hearts on Sunday, we'll be 3 points clear with a game in hand. If we beat Roma on Thursday night, we'll have 1 foot in the next round of the Europa League. And if we win the cup the Sunday after that, we'll have won the first trophy of the season. What was everybody getting all uptight about?
I don't know. I mean, Martin came in and saved the day to claw back 8 points in 5 games. That's incredible, and that's exactly what you're getting with Martin O'Neill. And honestly, it's just nice to be part of it. So you said you didn't see the end of the game, Terry?
No, I'd seen mine cut out just as. He was a wee bit reluctant. He was kind of hesitant to go towards the centre of the circle, and then my stream cut out. I'll have to contact Celtic TV and get some of that pay-per-view back because I didn't get to see that bit at the end.
So they had him at the end, and they put the microphone in his face, but you could just see he was reluctant to talk. And when he did talk, it sounded very emotional. He thanked the team, and then he turned around and thanked the fans. He didn't thank the board, mind you. But he said these are the best fans in the world. He said this team did really well, and he said that these guys are champions, and they played like champions. And I think that's what you get with somebody like O'Neill, is you're going to get the 1-0 draws. But I think this game was the reverse of the St Mirren one, where we scored early. I mean, I thought we came out flying. I really did. I thought we came out flying. I thought Yang looked brilliant. The first 15, 20 minutes. The amount Yang was getting to the byline and whipping in passes and crosses and all that was unbelievable. I thought he'd done really, really well. And it's nice to see that you can pinpoint 1 or 2 players that Martin O'Neill has clearly had an effect on.
Yeah, I think he'll have had a profound effect on so many people at the club, and it'll not just be the players. I would imagine he's had an impact on every single person that works in the club, from the cleaners to the administrators and the guys above him that are, are quite right for so much criticism. If we look at the lineup, Liam, it was very samey in terms of no change. I haven't actually. I'm an idiot. I haven't got it here. It was the same lineup. It was the same lineup as the last game. Were you expecting any changes?
I was surprised that Sriracha started instead of Tierney, but that was the only one. I thought that was a good team. That was a good team to start with. And yeah, who's going to argue with Martin O'Neill in his last game? Whether he wants to play, I'm fine with that.
I think it was the exact same in terms of the. No, can you not hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Aye.
I think it was the exact same, even through to the bench as well. Let me just grab it here. Let's see.
Fucking
2 seconds.
I memorised it.
Here we go. So Schmeichel, Donovan, Trusty, Scales, Sriracha, McGregor, Hatate, Engels, Yang, McCowan, Almeida, and I think it was exactly the same subs. A little bit damning as well, to be honest, because during the summer of discontent around the transfer window, the two guys that we spent decent dough on are now behind Yang in terms of the team. In one of those strange timed statements that came out from Celtic, they actually gave themselves a pat on the back for the good work they'd done early in the transfer window, bringing in Kieran Tierney and Ben Negrin. Now turns out that neither of those two are actually in our starting lineup. Let me just see if we can mute Liam there. Pop Liam on mute there till he comes back. It now appears that Sriracha seems to be first choice and on merit over KT, and Negrin, after a decent start and some good moments, some frustrating moments, now seems he's not first choice either. So it just makes that whole window all the more damning for the guys that come in. But thinking ahead to Sunday, Sriracha, he's going to be out again, so that's going to be Tierney. You would imagine back in. No idea what the team's going to look like on Sunday, given that the new manager's coming in. Again, I said it wasn't a Ferrari tonight, a Ferrari performance, but it's been at Ferrari most of the time since Martin came in. And as we heard, about an hour and a half before kickoff, the keys have been handed over to Wilfried Nancy. I was interested to see, would any of the guys that Martin had brought in that seemed to have had a positive influence, Fozzie, Maloney and McManus. I'm keen to see what the future holds for them in terms of Celtic. My gut feel is, given that it's been announced tonight that he's brought in his assistant coach, Ampadu, another assistant coach who's also the fitness coach, Jules Guiguen, something like that, and also a video performance coach, Maxime Chalier. I can't see there being room then for Maloney, McManus, Fozzie, Gavin Strachan, all of those guys. All of the statements tonight that were made by Nancy, Peter Lowell, Michael Nicholson actually made a written statement, quotes attributed to him, and Dermot Desmond, who seems to have made his own statement, seems to be fine making his own statements whenever it's online, but when it comes to actually speaking in front of somebody, he sends his lad in. But they all made reference to thanking the coaching staff for stepping in and doing what they did. And I kind of get the feeling that none of those three guys will be involved in the new setup. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I'd like to see Maloney involved, and I think McManus he'll have a role at the club. He'll move back into his role. Maloney might well do the same. It remains then to be seen just what happens. But Liam, I just sort of fast forwarded there, covered off the managerial change that was kind of sneaked in, even though it's the worst kept secret in football over the last 3 weeks. It's going to be really interesting. We talked about the lineup kind of being a bit samey. Is that going to look the same on Sunday? Is he going to go big balls with this formation that he likes to play that the guys won't be overly used to? Who knows? But we'll cover off the highlights of the game. There aren't that many, so it shouldn't take us very long. As you say, Yang started well. He looked in the mood. He was involved in the winning goal. Nice pass from Hatate. Yang has a chance to score a little bit close to the goalkeeper, ricochets off the goalkeeper up into the air, and for the second game in a row, a Celtic player shows really good bravery and gets his head in there where it hurts, and Dyson Maeda scores the winning goal and disappears from the pitch for 10 minutes and then comes back looking like Rabsy Nesbitt.
I was thinking the first Rocky. I thought, well, but Adrian, they were going to have to cut his eye or something at that point. That looked like an absolute belter. And I was surprised Martin O'Neill kept him on as long after that. With a head injury and everything, about concussions and that, just because the bandage was so high up, and and the you could see the black eye forming underneath him as well. Yeah, they didn't have a really good replay on that one. I wasn't really sure what happened there. But that seems to be, we've got guys that are being brave and they're going in and they're getting these goals, but yeah, we're taking some amount of punishment off them as well. And I'm not sure if that hurt him more towards the end of the game. There was times where you were seeing passes coming at Maeda, and when it was on that right side where they had the bad eye, he wasn't picking him up as well. I don't think so.
No, I think you're right. I think you've touched on something there.
Well, it's like, you watch UFC and stuff like that and boxing. You see a guy taking eye damage, and then you try and go and everything on that one side of him. And you can sort of see that was happening, unfortunately, with Maeda. When the ball was on his right side, there was times where it just looked like he didn't see it or he reacted too late. But what a clunk that was, and fair play to the wee man for getting up. I mean, I'd still be greeting in the hospital if that was me.
I mean, the eye, when he came back on again, the eye was bulging and it was already black. He'll not be able to see out of that tomorrow. But my immediate thoughts were, let's get him wrapped up for Sunday, and take no chances with him. And I don't think he did a great game after that, until actually in the last kick of the match when he almost scored a second one. He did look a little bit rattled. But fair play to him. That's the wee guy that he is, and it takes a hell of a lot to put him down. Another wee guy who's really impressed us is Sriracha. We've already lost him to injury once. He's come back, and it looks as if he's back out with, if not the same injury, then a similar one. Another hamstring. Martin just couldn't go without pinging one more hamstring before he went. This time it's Sriracha, and he looked really good before he got injured, and then he came back. He looked really good since he came back, and now he's injured again, and he'll not play any part of the weekend, and it'll be a strange one for him. A lone player coming in, and he'll have to play, for a third manager. I know it's the same for all of the players that are out playing, but he's come in on loan, and this will be the third manager that he's had to try and impress whenever he comes back. At what point that's going to be annoying, because he has been really good. He's been really impressive for me in an attacking sense. We know that he hit the post at the weekend there. He also had a decent chance to score tonight. His first touch just didn't get the ball out of his feet properly. Disappointing that he's going to be out for a while.
I think he's a cracking player. Just before he got injured, we were talking in the pub, just like, okay, what does it take to sign this guy? I think it's something like a 2 million release clause or something. I don't know if that's just pub talk. Not sure if that's true or not. I thought he looked great. I thought he was coming on a game. I was surprised that he started ahead of Tierney, but supposedly Tierney has got a toe issue. But yeah, I don't know.
I think
He's still on the bench.
Even on performances, though, I think he's earned a start ahead of Tierney. I don't think the plan would have been for him to play more than Tierney. But then all of the plans that were made during this summer were very quickly out the window. I think the fee that was kind of mentioned when he was signing was roughly in and around 2 million. Whether that's still the same or not, I don't know. But we'll see how that one plays out. Again, if he's somebody that we could sign, it looks like a no-brainer. So through to halftime, again, we just about got through to halftime actually, because Dundee hit the bar and Scales. It was just a long ball forward, and Scales tries to nod it back to Smigel. He isn't aware that Dundee striker's there, and he nips in and hits the bar. Now the flag went up, but I don't see how that goal would have been disallowed, because Liam Scales played the ball backwards. Now the guy might have been off at the point when the ball was played, but if Scales then heads it, is that a second phase? I don't know. I'm glad we don't have to worry about it, but it wasn't the only time tonight where we got caught out with just a punt straight up the middle. There was one later in the game. It was the time Tuneki lost the ball out on the left-hand side, and it was just a long hoof up the pitch, and the Dundee guy outruns Scales, and he's in on goal, and Smigel has to make a save. We've lavished a lot of praise on Scales, and rightly so. I thought tonight was one of his poor performances of the season.
I thought the moon boots were back out again. Every time you look, you see Scales. Where there was at one point where the one you just mentioned, where he was chasing that guy and he got on the wrong side here. But it was way he was running to catch up, and we looked like he was running on a waterbed. You know, it just seemed that he couldn't get the speed up to actually catch him and get in front of him, and we got very lucky there. He had a few really awkward moments tonight, and that's what it's doing to you. There's sometimes where, I don't know, the ball just gets caught up in Scales' feet, and he does look a wee bit awkward at times. Yeah, I think one of the reasons he's looked so good is because Trusty's been getting much more of the ball. Because under Rodgers, it was always give it to Scales and let Scales bring it out. The Martin O'Neill, it looks like he's got a lot more faith in Trusty. That Trusty comes in, and Trusty's not passing it to Scales all the time. Trusty's first ball is usually out to the wing, which I really like about him. And yeah, I mean, I can't fault him too much. I've been really impressed with Liam Scales as of late. But I thought tonight, he just looked a bit awkward, you know.
Yeah, and my concern, just when I see the name Shankland there, my concern going into Sunday would be if some of those chances that we give up tonight fall to Lawrence Shankland, they will end up in our net on Sunday. Shankland, good to see you in the chat. Just be keen to get your thoughts now that Hearts have sort of relinquished that advantage. What do you think? Do you think they'll sustain a run to the end of the season, or do you expect that Celtic will start to flex their muscles a little bit?
I think once we pull ahead, Terry, that's it. We're ahead. I don't think we're going to relinquish it. Right now, we've got the same amount of points. I think we've got 3 goals difference and a game in hand. And I think that game in hand, even if we lose on, I think that's the one game we could lose. Maybe Nancy coming in. You know, if it does go, you have to be happy with a draw against them on the weekend, because I know with that game in hand we're going to pull ahead, and I know that they're going to start losing points. And I think it was Motherwell they played. Motherwell's a good team right now, and yeah, I don't know if Hearts is the real deal yet. And who knows how much, I don't know if you heard the news, we saw it in the chat today.
There's a little bit of scandal. Yeah, there's a little bit of scandal going about.
So who knows if that affects the team or not, and it might affect our signings. with them talking about, oh, well, they've got loads of money, or they've, this Bloom guy's really forward thinking, and they'll probably strengthen in January. I don't know if that'll be the case anymore.
Yeah, I'm catching McLaughlin P's point there. I think your earlier point was that you expect us to open up quite a lead over the next month or so, and I think that's a good point. If we were able to do that, then I think it gives Nancy a chance to start thinking about how he wants this team to play down the line, moving into next season. But it's just going to be really, really interesting to see how he approaches these next few games, given where we're at in the season, where we've been, where we've recovered to, and what's at stake over the next 3 weeks. If he will come in and look to do his thing straight away, or if he look to come in and find the best way for Celtic to have a chance of winning all 3 of these games. And I think I said on the pod, Liam, when I looked at these the last 3 away games there, St Mirren, Hibs and Feyenoord, I didn't see us winning them. Even with the O'Neill bounce, I looked at those and I thought they are really, really hard games. I just couldn't see a way we'd win all 3. And it wasn't pretty all the time, but we ended up winning all 3. And now I'm looking at these next 3 and I'm thinking, if we didn't change the manager, I could see us winning all 3 of these next 3. But because we've now changed the manager, I think it's going to be difficult for him to win all 3 coming in from the cold. It's really weird, but it's one to get excited about. It is what it is. Martin was always going to be a short-term fix. We didn't know if it was going to be 1 game or 7 or 8 or whatever it's been. But that's it. It's done. The new man's in. He takes training tomorrow, and he's taken over now in a much better place than if he'd come in 5 weeks ago.
Well, he's got momentum. And that's the one thing we always talk about, is like carrying on momentum. The one thing our board don't do is work on momentum. But I'm hoping the players can pick up for this. So you're looking at Yang now full of confidence. You're looking at Trusty. Trusty's looking very, very confident. We'd even get a better game out of Schmeichel right now. I think, not so much this game, but the game before it, he made some dynamic saves at the very end of the game to make sure that Hibs didn't equalise. So I think what Martin's brought to the team is that sort of confidence. So I'm just hoping that we can carry on for this, keep this momentum going. The teams, we're at the top of the table. We're tied for top. So okay, that's the first time there this season we've been up there. I think, yeah, let's keep that momentum going, and we'll have to see how they resolve that with Martin O'Neill leaving and bringing in the new guy. And you never know, there might be a push and a resurgency as well of just having fresh ideas, some new faces, the players wanting to impress and push on and build on that confidence. And yeah, let's see this guy, see what he's like, and yeah, hopefully we can keep going forward.
Tomorrow's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see the pictures coming through from the training ground straight away. And it will be interesting to see, is it simply a case that Maloney and those guys aren't there and the new guys are there? I would find that quite strange as well if it's just a complete handover. And, I'd say much of Nancy's day tomorrow is going to be spent in front of a microphone. And I don't think I know he has stuff to do in front of the microphone, but ideally we've got 3 days to try and prepare for our biggest game of the season. And I want him on the pitch or on the training pitch doing his thing. But it'll be interesting to see the footage coming through, who's actually there, what is the dynamic at training. It'll then be interesting to see, are we given any guidance as to what's going to happen with the coaches that were already there and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to put you on the spot then, Liam. We'll not look any further ahead than Sunday, because I think we just break these next 3 games down and focus on them one by one. I'm absolutely buzzing about Sunday now. I'm absolutely buzzing about it. New managers in. We've got ourselves back to within a goal difference. And we've got Hearts coming to Celtic Park, and I'm excited. I think we're going to get the result. I don't know how we're going to get it, but I'm just confident that we're going to get it. You said you would take a draw. Would you really?
No, I know really. I want to see him come out flying. You want to see him. If I talked with Phil on Friday on the bus, and we were talking about Nancy coming in. But we were talking about this for about 3 Fridays, as if he should have been here by now. But I think he has to win these games. You know, would I take a draw? I'm saying that just without the emotion attached to it. Yeah, it would probably be okay, and it's a new guy coming in. But he's coming in with a winning team. He's coming in with the best team in Scotland. He's got players that are on form. I know we got a lot of injuries right now, but we still have enough. And again, Hearts have been poor lately. So if a team like Motherwell can take a point off them, I'm sure surely we can beat Motherwell.
Well,
I mean,
tonight Kelly took points off them tonight. Like it.
Was it Kelly, right? It was Kelly tonight. Aye.
Yeah, it was Motherwell at Motherwell at the weekend, wasn't it?
Aye. So yeah, I think they're there for the taking. So if you look at the confidence factor right now, we're on the upswing, they're on the downswing. They've been leading the lead for into December, and that's now we're in the 3rd day of December, and that lead is gone. Now we're even, and we have a game in hand. So technically, we should be able, we should be in front of them. Our game in hand. Who we playing? I don't even know. It's next week, I think, right? So we could come out of this game if we win. We could be 6 points ahead of them. And at that point, I don't think there's looking back. I don't think Hearts have that just mental toughness.
I think the game in hand's a little bit closer to Christmas. We've got Roma during the week and then St Mirren on the Sunday, to the best of my knowledge. So 3 massive games, but I'm really, really looking forward to Sunday. And if you believe in the manager bounce, then we are due to get another one, because obviously it's his first game. But it's an exciting time. We're in a much, much better place. We've clawed back Hearts' lead. We've stretched clear of Motherwell in 3rd and Rangers in 4th. And again, all of this against backdrop of complete disarray at the club. Your most vocal fan group won't be in the stadium. That corner is it isn't nice to look over and see the tarpaulin over the seats. That's not going to be resolved anytime soon. There's a hell of a lot still wrong, but if we can come out of this season somehow, winning the league championship and 1 or 2 cups and qualify for the next round of Europa League, I would have took that 5 weeks ago, to be honest. I see whenever we lost to Dundee, the reverse of this fixture, at that point I started to think this is going to be the COVID season over again. I couldn't see a way of this turning other than Rodgers going, and how that came about. I'm not even convinced that I think that was a knee jerk. I think that was just bits and pieces that we read that he kind of called a truce, or he would walk away, and I think he was met with, well, I'll tell you what, just you walk away then. And if he was still here, none of this would be happening. Can you imagine? And that's not me saying he's a bad manager, and it just, his time was up. He just could not get any kind of tune out of these players. But anyway, the past's in the past. Where are we? Just into December. We've got these 3 big games. And I think in terms of the league, we've got ourselves into a position where when we get to January, we will still be right in the mix at the absolute worst. And that gives the powers that be an opportunity to do something. Am I convinced they'll do anything of note? No, because there's absolutely no evidence to say that. And even when we do go and sign players, as we've seen with the guys that we've brought in from the summer, they don't seem to nail down a place in the team. Even look at Taneke. his performances, he was performing when nobody else was. But I think what you're seeing now is teams have kind of worked him out a little bit, and he's easier to read. I did like to see him going to the byline tonight, that one opportunity that he did, because all too often he's been turning back onto his right-hand side and knocking it backwards. And that was creeping in again tonight, that backwards passing throughout the whole team. And again, I think that's something we'll see less of under the new manager, because he seems to be very much about passing the ball forward, vertical passing, as opposed to horizontal passing and backwards passing. So we'll get our first look at Nancy Ball come Sunday. That's us half an hour done, Liam. I'm knackered and I'm up early in the morning. What I am going to do, just one more little mention, and I'm pretty sure this guy was my man of the match at the weekend, and he is also my man of the match tonight. I thought he was buzzing around the place. I thought all it was positive. He was involved in it. Did he give the ball away? Yes, he did. Once, twice. But I think the last couple of weeks, he has taken it up a level. Does that coincide with the fact that there's a transfer window about to open? Do you know what? It may well do. But when he's in that kind of form, I enjoy watching him. And he could be my match winner come Sunday again.
I really hope so. I like Hatate as a player. I want to see him shoot more. There was a couple of options there tonight where you could see he just got it caught in the legs in the scramble. There was one where he was through, where there was that wee back healer that went to him. I think it was after Ingles, and it was a nice wee drop back. And then he took a touch, and then he hit the ball. But I thought Hatate's played really well. I think it's interesting to see what Martin O'Neill has brought out of certain players. He's obviously brought up Ingles' game, Hatate's game, Yang's game, McGregor. McGregor is back being primetime McGregor. McCowan had a spell where I thought he was looking good. I thought he was very poor tonight. It's just interesting to see how these guys are going to react with such an enigma as Martin O'Neill in the dressing room, and Sean Maloney and Mark Fotheringham, and then seeing how they respond to a bunch of French Yankees coming in, see what they can do, you know.
Okay, the next few days we will find out a lot more about the new manager and his backroom team. And as I say, we look forward to Sunday. I'll be here after the game. And thank you to everyone who's joined us tonight. We're about 150 deep all of the way through. Celtic are back, albeit not at the very top of the league. We are right back in the mix. Hail, hail. Thank you.